Yeah.
You know, I mean, seriously, it's one of the things. Well, first of all, let me just start things off. We're talking with Mayor Katie Rosenberg, which just sounds cool when you say that. Does it sound cool to you?
It sounds kind of cool, but I'm still getting used to it. It's weird to have a new fancy title.
Well, yeah, because you used to be, because you and I have known each other forever, and you've been Katie, and now
Yeah.
you're Mayor Katie to me. So all of a sudden, yeah, you just expanded your whole world, and so when you got the gig, and the thing is leading up to that, I can't think of somebody that I've seen campaign harder and more focused than you in a long time. Did you feel like you were that way when you were campaigning?
Yeah, I felt so I'm glad it looked that way. There are moments in the campaign where you feel like you're not doing enough, and especially when you're up against a pandemic, right? And so I had to stop knocking on doors. I had to stop talking to people directly, unless I called them, which people don't love. So that was really tough. But I'm glad I started early. I think that's my own kind of thing. I like to prepare, get done early. So it helped out this time.
No kidding. Well, now getting the job, how like it must seem at least a little overbearing, isn't it? Because of the amount of things we're dealing with being in a pandemic.
Yeah, it's kind of like jumping into the deep end of a wave pool, and it's kind of crazy. But we work with so many good people here. They're keeping us going. We have great ideas. I have really great people who are helping me on the county side. I've been talking to Lance Leonard. I've been talking to Michael Loy. We have a great police department. Everybody that works here is really great and focused on meeting the needs of our community. So I don't feel like I'm alone in the deep end of the wave pool, at least. We're together. So it's been challenging though.
I know one of the first things I saw right off the bat is your ability to stay in touch with people with social media. And there's other mayors that I think have been very good at that. Like, for instance, Mayor Mike Wiesa in Stevens Point. Into social media, you get a mixture of what's going on in his planet and his life, and then also as mayor, what he's trying to tackle. And one of the first things I saw here right off the bat was somebody had brought up an issue with the homeless and garbage near the downtown area, and you went and took a look at the whole situation. Do you see situations like that coming up often, or that you'll tackle on a regular basis?
Yeah, and I think especially right now, as I'm getting to understand those issues a little bit more intimately, the great thing about that was, I sent a note over to Chief Bliven and I said, "Hey, what do you know about this?" And he said, "I'm going to go check it out tomorrow. Do you want to come with me?" And I was like, yes, I do." So we were able to tackle it in that way. And I think, I've talked to the fire department too about some of these things, and I was like, "What can I do to understand what you're doing all the time, everything that you're dealing with?" So it's kind of been opening the book and just saying, invite me to everything. I know it's going to be crazy, but I want to know how I can help you do your job better, how I can help lead. That's what I want. So at least for these first 3 months, you're going to see a lot of that.
Well, let's break it down a little bit, Mayor, because one of my key concerns in the pandemic is what's happening in the food world. I'm a food student, culture freak, and I care about a lot of restaurants and chefs. Know a lot of them. You do too. And so, with all those people, I'm wanting to know if we're doing the right things. And do you see where there's things we could improve on so we can maybe get the ball rolling a little bit quicker as far as getting restaurants actually open where you can go in and have a meal at a restaurant?
Yeah, so we're having big discussions about that right now. So one of the things we're doing now is we're working with McDevco to work on some of those micro loans and micro grants to small businesses, including restaurants, to help them get back on their feet. But it doesn't feel like it's enough. It feels like, okay, there's got to be stuff that, like, maybe ordinances that we have right now that are standing in the way of some of them. So what can we do to just maybe push those to the side for a little bit and figure out how do we not impede businesses once they open. Sandwich boards, not being able to have those on the sidewalk. So we're looking through things like that. I have a meeting set up with Blake at the downtown River District, and Mark Craig and a couple of other people, and we're talking through, okay, so what can we do to help when they do reopen? Obviously, if we're at a point where you can only have 50 people in there, it's not a moneymaker for restaurants. But can we close down the streets maybe and spill picnic tables out onto the 400 block? Like, what does that look like? So we're kind of thinking in those, creative ideas of how do we make sure that these businesses are able to conduct business, make money, serve people, without creating any chaos. Also, I mean, that's one thing we don't want to do, but we want to help.
Yeah, the one thing I've been having a conversation with on a regular basis is talking to Joe Ellis and Gem Productions, who provide sound for concerts on the square. Well, all of a sudden, we can't do concerts on the square or any of that kind of stuff. And so he's trying to do concerts at his warehouse because his
Yeah.
gear's not going anywhere. So you might as well. And he invited Johnny and the Motones to come over and jam at his warehouse. And so I thought, you got to do these sort of online things for the time being. But that seems to be where we're at right now for the most part is online, right?
Yeah, that's where we're at for sure right now. And even when Safer at Home is that expires, I do wonder if people are going to feel uncomfortable going out in the community yet. They're going to wait a little bit, see what the data shows of the first people that are ready to go out and get things done. So I wonder if it's going to be a slow reopening, even when people are allowed to go.
And any wild guess? I mean, are you hearing anything different than what we're already hearing as far as getting to that, getting open?
No. So, one of the things that I happened to jump right into is this group of League of Wisconsin Municipalities. They have these regular mayor calls. So you've got mayors from across the state, and we're all kind of talking through this. And one of the things that is coming up in every single community is you're getting emails and calls from people asking, mayors specifically to reopen the cities. And so we're talking through what that looks like. And we've all kind of we're advocating on behalf of our businesses. We want to make sure that they can open. So we've talked, what does a regional reopening look like? We've had Missy Hughes from the WEDC in there. We said we need to open. Our businesses are suffering. We've had people from the governor's administration in there. At first they were like, no, there's no way we're doing a regional reopening. There's no way, even though you don't have a lot of cases up north. Sorry, that's not happening. People can travel and see you. You're going to spread it. And now we're kind of hearing, well, we don't know if it's the best way, but maybe we do need to consider this regional reopening. So, like, that continuous conversation is really kind of driving the policy. We still are very concerned about the health implications, especially of travelers. But this economic devastation is real. People are really suffering.
Yeah, you get that on so many levels. All you got to do is just start talking to your friends, family, everybody, and everybody's completely affected by this. But game on. We're just trying to help as much as we can. And if you ever hear anything where there's things that we can sort of, well, I always say alert the media. Wait a minute, we are the media. So if you can tell us to share that, we'll be, your mouthpiece and tell everybody what's going on. If there's things that come up, because there's going to be this layering thing where we'll get to certain things, soon.
Yep.
Other things a little bit later. Just let us know, and we'll gladly pass it on to everybody.
Oh, I will for sure let you know. And if I don't, I will tweet it.
Yeah. I was going to say, you've got people, but to heck with that. Katie's got, she's on the internet right now, all over the place. So, yeah.
I'm starting to get used to the idea of press releases.
Yeah, well, I think that's the thing that made the big difference for me is seeing anybody who was campaigning, and getting into Facebook, getting into Instagram and Twitter immediately. Hey, that's where we've been. And so that's where you found us, even though you couldn't go out and, face-to-face handshake everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. Yeah. You got it done. So congratulations, Mayor. Just great news that you got the gig.
Yeah, thank you. I'm so excited to serve you and the rest of Wausau.
Check it out. Yeah. Mayor, we will talk again, I know, at some point, get updates. But thanks for your time. And we wish you all the best. May the force be with you.
Thank you. May the force be with you, too.
That's it. Yeah. Oh, Katie, you done good.
Yay.
You
okay.
rock.